Today we have with us the Google Pixel 3 XL and the Pixel 2 XL. Now we'll take a look at what's changed with these two phones, what's new in the Pixel 3 and what we look forward to in our review. So let's start with the specifications. Now it's clear that Google is not really involved in this specs war. In fact, they've continued with the 4GB RAM that we saw on the previous Pixel 2. And it has a 64GB and 128GB storage variant. Google is not offering higher variants like say a 256GB variant, which Apple and Samsung do, or even a 512GB variant, which Apple and Samsung have just introduced this year. These two phones are now powered by the top-end processor for 2018, but since we're nearly at the end of 2018, keep in mind that a lot of phones have already launched with this processor, so the Pixel 3 XL might seem a bit outdated. Now let's talk about the front camera, which is the significant change in terms of specifications. Google has introduced a dual front camera and it's going for two 8MP sensors. In fact, the company is using a telephoto and wide-angle combination, which is what we usually see on rear cameras of most smartphones. However, on the back, Google is still sticking with the single rear camera and the sensor size is 12.2MP, which is the same as last year. Now the other significant change in terms of the Pixel 3 XL is that it has a slightly smaller battery than the Pixel 2 XL. This one has a 3430 mAh battery, while the Pixel 2 XL came with a slightly bigger 3520 mAh battery. Now let's talk about the design of the Pixel 3 XL in comparison to the older Pixel 2 XL. If you look at these two phones, you might be confused. You might even ask, what's changed? They look pretty much the same, except this one seems to have a more matte finish. Well, something has changed. For instance, Google has done away with that half glass, half metal design that it had on the earlier phones. It is now all glass at the back, but it has given the glass a very interesting matte finish, which does give it a better grip. And you're a little bit more secure about this phone because you don't need to put it in a cover. So remember, this is all glass at the back. And the other thing that I noticed is that the Pixel 3 XL is a bit more rectangular in comparison to the Pixel 2 XL. I also feel the Pixel 3 XL is heavier in comparison, and I'm guessing it's because of the glass back. Another thing to keep in mind is that because of this glass back, the phone now supports wireless charging as well. The other big design change is of course on the front. Now you have a bigger 6.3-inch QHD Plus display, and yes, the notch is here as well. Google had already announced that Android Pie would support the notch, and we're seeing it implemented in the Pixel 3, which is not really so much of a surprise. Keep in mind that the smaller Pixel 3 does not come with a notch, however, the bigger Pixel 3 XL does. So what's changed with the Pixel 3 XL? Is there really such a big upgrade out here? Of course, Google is really not playing the specifications game, it's more about the software, and that's what's been the highlight with the Pixel series. With Pixel 3 XL, there are some new features on the Google Assistant. However, those are not yet rolling out to India. What we will be looking at in our review? The camera. Now, in my opinion, the Pixel 2 XL had an excellent camera, and whether Google can top it with this one will be interesting to see. There's supposed to be a new night sight mode as well, so that's not yet out and it will only be rolled out later. I will also, of course, be testing out the dual front camera and whether it lives up to the claims that Google is making.